Today's video has been sponsored by Good Chop. It's not very often that I full-on eat my words when it comes to how good an internet food trend is, until a couple months back when I made some of those Smashburger tacos. Every single one of them that I tested were phenomenal. They were as easy as advertised, I had no complaints about them, and as a result, I've been kinda dying to find an excuse to come back to them, and when I saw these smashed dumpling tacos over on Instagram the other day, that's about all I needed. And in addition to those beauties, we'll also be testing out the In-N-Out Smashburger taco, the chili lime chicken version, and then to finish this one off, I'm gonna come up with my very own creation that I have not yet tested, so we'll see if it all works out, but let's get right into this one. I think one of the main things I really love about this trend is how customizable everything is. You can make these as fancy or as upgraded as you like. And if you're looking for an opportunity to really upgrade the products you use in the kitchen, look no further than my friends over at Good Chop. Good Chop offers fully customizable boxes of high-quality meats and seafood delivered right to your door on your schedule. Their products are vacuum sealed and flash frozen at peak freshness, so you can stock your freezer and cook when you want. And starting at a price of just $3.74 per meal with Good Chop, good luck finding better quality cuts that save you time and money. From the 100% grass-fed ribeyes to the filet mignon and organic free-range chicken breasts, there is something for everyone. Choose between over 70 high-quality cuts from their weekly menu. And as you can see, I was blown away with what I received in my box, from the beautiful marbling on this steak and the gorgeous color of the trout. Going in, I already had high expectations, and they were still blown out of the water. This stuff was incredible. And still, my favorite part about Good Chop is that all of their meats and seafood are sourced right here in the US with no added hormones or antibiotics, and they are so confident that you will love your box, you can get 100% of your money back if you don't. So seriously, do yourself a favor and click that link in the top line of the description to go over to goodchop.com/YouTube, use my code Seymour120, and you can get $120 off across your first 4 boxes of Good Chop. I think it's only right that we start this one with the reason this video is getting made in the first place, these unbelievable looking smashed dumpling tacos. I grabbed rice vinegar and black vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil, and hot chili oil, ground pork and salt and pepper, sesame seeds, fresh scallions, a cucumber, tiny little tortillas, fresh cilantro, a ginger root, and some garlic. Now listen, I don't know how many times I've said these look amazing, and I still feel that way. All the shoutouts in the world to Dished by Kate, who is the creator of this one. But I'd be lying if I said that it didn't peeve the hell out of me when people try to call this a smashed burger taco and then smear the raw meat onto the tortilla with their bare hands. Why? As I said in the last video, it just defeats the purpose, and you're gonna end up with a lot of gray meat some of the time, so please, I beg you, once you get whatever your meat mixture is all together, in this case it's all of our seasonings, lots of the chopped up fresh herbs and ginger and garlic into that pork. Make little quarter cup balls of the meat, slap them onto a tortilla like charcuterie, and then press the hell out of those things with a potato masher, a spatula. Just put them under more stress than what the average politician feels when you ask them why it is they're banning TikTok. All I know is this is the easiest way to do this. It is much more work to sit there trying to perfectly spackle the meat onto the tortilla. And once they get loaded up with your toppings of choice, in this case the quick pickled cucumbers, some more of the fresh scallions and cilantro, it's easy to say that I am ecstatic to be seeing these once again. So these are amazing, and they are absolutely packed with flavor. And dare I say, maybe a little better than the average dumpling, only because the pork itself has a little bit of crisp. Some of that fat got to render down, instead of kind of just like a steamed pork piece like inside of the dumpling package. I love the pickled cucumbers on here. It keeps things light and fresh. I could eat probably 15 of these. This video was a good idea by me. Next up today, we're going back to the roots of this trend with a little bit of a twist and making the In-N-Out Burger smashed taco. I gathered some ground beef and ketchup, mayo, white vinegar, and iceberg lettuce, mustard, butter, relish, and white sugar, some flour tortillas and American cheese, an onion, a tomato, and some salt and pepper. I'll spare you guys this week's regularly scheduled tomato rant. You already know how I feel about them, but they work in applications like this when they're cut very small and you can barely taste them. But I was very excited to do this one because it kind of feels like the natural progression. If you didn't catch the last video of these, basically the Big Mac style of the smash taco was kind of what kicked this all off. It's what garnered millions upon millions of views on TikTok and Instagram. And in my eyes, the In-N-Out animal style burger is kind of the upgraded version of the Big Mac. Sorry to my fellow East Coasters. I started by chopping up and cooking off tons of onions and actually removing some of them halfway through because we need both grilled onions for the final preparation and then some deeply caramelized onions that are gonna go in the burger sauce itself. And then the rest of this is exactly like all the other smash tacos we have made with your beef, your flour tortilla, slice of American cheese. And while I finish these guys up, I wanted to quickly address my lack of flannel attire. My Knicks are basically my favorite sports team, and they finally have a good team for the first time in what feels like a lifetime of sorrow between them and the Jets. So shout out Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, the rest of the legends on that team. Please take us to the promised land, just like where these burgers have landed. Once again, I still haven't mastered the art of not allowing the tortilla to get a shade or two too dark in spots, but the rest of this looks perfect. They're just so good. I'm happy to admit that I was completely wrong on these, and still, I think a lot of the magic lies in how much of the beef fat gets absorbed in the tortilla. It allows it to retain so much of the beefy flavor and get so much crispier. I could still do without the tomatoes, but the sauce on this is great. Throw caramelized onions in anything, I'm gonna love it. They're just magic. I don't know what else to say. On deck today is a healthier twist on this viral trend. I know, I'm shocked too. From Maddie over on TikTok, they are the chili lime chicken smashed tacos. I collected some chili powder and low-carb tortillas, Greek yogurt, and a tomato, some ground chicken and cumin, iceberg lettuce, and a red onion, an avocado, salt and pepper, fresh garlic, lime, and cilantro. Unintentional, but there's lots of cilantro happening in this video here today. I certainly don't hate it. I could eat that plain, like a goat. If there was an option for extra cilantro in my chipotle rice or in whatever salsa, I would gladly do it. But at least with everything else in this taco, we're going a very different direction, starting with a homemade guacamole. That's gonna get plenty of lime juice, plenty of cilantro, red onion, a little tomato, salt and pepper. I also whipped up the cilantro lime yogurt sauce, which is only now occurring to me. It's probably a substitution for a sour cream. And subsequently, it is also now occurring to me that this is very clearly supposed to be a health recipe. I probably should have picked that out due to the ground chicken and the healthy low-carb tortillas. This is not the first time I am finding myself quite gullible and oblivious. After all, I thought a internet career would be sustainable. But the last component of this was the ground chicken that got mixed with plenty of red onion and garlic, lime juice, chili powder, cumin, salt and pepper. Absolutely load them up with a healthy amount of the guac, all the rest of the toppings, some more of my second least favorite ingredient in the kitchen, obviously plenty of that yogurt sauce, and will this thing be able to stay together as you eat it? That remains to be seen. All right, number 3, looking just as strong, minus the tomatoes. Once again, these raise the question, how far is too far from being able to call this a burger? Because it literally just looks like a taco, but I don't care because it is damn good. I love the spices in the chicken. I love how thin the chicken was able to get. For some reason, when I was imagining this in my head, I was seeing a really thick, kind of like chicken patty, but it worked just as well. And it's way healthier too. You've got the yogurt instead of sour cream. You've got the slightly healthier tortillas. And now, if you are somebody that would consider yourself a purist and would have a problem with straying from the original taco and burger components, close your eyes. So when I first sat down to create my perfect personal smash taco, I took a few things into account. It's almost summertime. there's one specific kind of food cuisine that we rarely touch on the channel. So to make these crispy dill crab cake smash tacos, I grabbed some hot sauce and Worcestershire sauce, panko breadcrumbs and mayo, fresh dill, tahine, tortillas, and some crab meat, butter and Dijon mustard, relish, iceberg lettuce, ground mustard, and a lemon, an egg, salt and pepper, and fresh parsley. I started with the lemon dill tartar sauce because I feel like all my favorites of all of these have had some kind of sauce in some form. And when that was ready to go, I stuck it in the fridge and made my seasoning breadcrumb base for the crab cakes. I really didn't want to make some kind of crazy, complex Joshua Weissman-esque recipe that 0% of you out there would actually make for yourselves. So I kept things pretty standard. This is a very normal crab cake mix. Maybe with an extra zhuzh of the hot sauce and tahine, that's optional. Just make sure to mix everything together before gently folding in all of your crab meat, just to keep those lumps kind of sorta together. And then, as wrong as it felt, I balled up my crab cake mixture into little meatballs and smashed them on down, this time into a non-stick skillet. And while I have a second, while I finish this bad boy up, let me know down in the comments if you have any unique or interesting ideas for Smashburger tacos in the future. Maybe I'll do a video of just solely your suggestions, so whatever you can conjure up, make sure to like each other's comments if you see a good one. I think that could be a fun idea in the future. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but you guys can say that. I think I'm now realizing the greatest benefit of this trend. Taking foods that you would otherwise have to eat daintily, dainty? One of those, and putting it on a vessel that allows you to shovel mouthfuls into your gullet. Wow, this is amazing. It is very crabby, but very rich, lots of flavor and freshness. I love all the dill. I love the crisp on both sides. My God, I wasn't even hungry, and it's nearly gone. This is just such a good trend. All of these, again, were amazing today. They're so accessible, they're so customizable. If you have the means, make this one, or switch it up a little bit. If you do, let me know over on Instagram, send me a picture. Some may disagree, but I feel like I'm somewhat qualified to speak on this. This has got to be one of the greatest TikTok trends of all time.
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.